Welcome to another episode of The Running Journey. This one is a good one. What do you think is the Guinness record for fastest barefoot triathlon? Would it surprise you if I said it's 2 hours and 57 minutes? Would it also surprise you if you heard that I attempted to break it at the Birds Hill Triathlon on the weekend? You might know this already, but I did. I tried to break it. And this episode is all about the Birds Hill Triathlon. Charlie's been working very hard on his biking and his swimming. We also talked a bit about SEMO and all the people we saw at the race. These races are so fun. They're so community oriented. And there's so many people come together to celebrate what is a pretty cool thing, which is pushing ourselves to do hard things. This was a very hard thing for me to do. Running barefoot. It's hard. It's very hard on the feet. The biking is hard. Anyways, episode 121 of The Running Journey, my attempt at a Guinness record, me and Charlie talking about that attempt and the race itself. First half hour is a preamble to the race. Second half hour is the recap of the race. Enjoy this episode. All right, we're on our way to Birds Hill, 6 a.m. Bright and early. Charlie just picked me up. Bike's on the back. Car's beeping. Doesn't like something.
Oh, yeah.
Your seatbelt, probably.
Yeah, I can't wear it, though, with this thing.
Oh, he's got a wetsuit on, and he cannot... Could you clip it in behind? He's risking life and limb here. Allegedly, maybe. This is not an admission of guilt. If anyone's listening, maybe he's wearing a seatbelt. Maybe he isn't. He's got it buckled in now. I was just telling Charlie how... triathlons like this overhead the night before, it's like I feel like you don't have your night. Like you're committed to prepping for a race for 3 sports that you're gonna do. And you were disagreeing with me?
I wasn't disagreeing. I was just I guess I've gotten a lot better at it. It was kind of low stress for me. I mean, there's a few things to do yesterday, but I think I had most of the things figured out.
Maybe some people stress out about running marathons, right? They think, Rob, that's like so many things you have to do the night before a marathon. I just go into auto mode the night before, and that's probably where you're at with triathlon.
Well, not quite. It's still way harder than...
It's for sure harder
than a marathon, but I think I've kind of got a lot of things figured out. So, yeah, it's a little bit better.
I had a 3-hour conversation with ChatGPT going at every step of the way. What else am I missing? What else do I need to do? He helped me through my bike. I was such a loser. I could not figure out.
Does it shift? Does it ride? Have you ridden it outside?
My bike, I have not ridden it outside this year.
Okay.
Is that a concern?
No, I think it should. There's a good chance that it'll be fine. Probably ride it when you get there a little bit.
I turned the wheels.
Turn the wheels, the brakes.
I don't know about brakes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's. When's the last time I rode that thing? Holy smokes!
Nice, France. 2 years ago?
No. I ran it at the World Championships.
Oh, right.
When I last did my barefoot triathlon. So we're talking triathlon today. Those of you that haven't picked up on that, the Birds Hill Provincial Championships are today. This is, would you call it the premier event of the year in Manitoba? It is, for sure. It's the premier event of the year.
I think, yeah, for Olympic, for sure. Yeah.
Olympic distance, so not Ironman. Olympic distance, 1.5 kilometer swim, 40 kilometer bike, 10K run. Just a walk in the park, right, Charlie?
I mean...
It's not.
No, triathlons are pretty hard. I mean, the 10K at the end is good, to me, is where you have to put it all out in there. So, yeah, it's going to be hard.
It's definitely got to be hard because as much as the bike is like, quote unquote, a break, I've said that before. I'm mocking myself because I used to just not output any watts. So, of course, it was a break for me. I used to just not push. If you don't push, it's a break. But then, like the bike, the 10K is an all-out 10K when you're on very, very tired legs. So you've been going at least, I don't know, let's say an hour and a half or something like that. If you're Charlie, closer to 2 hours if you're me, and you're tired, you're wiped out. So does my bike ride? I'm not sure. The last time I tried it was at the World Championships. No, because I rented a bike.
Pinawa, didn't you do a Pinawa?
Did I do a triathlon at Pinawa? Was that last year with Grains?
Yeah, without the clip-in shoes.
Oh, and I forgot my shoes. Yeah. Detail.
Yeah.
Forgot my shoes, so I had to wear. So that's close to an experience as I'll have today. Yes, so that's the last time I wore it. About a year ago, let's say 10 months, 9 months, 11 months ago, something like that. Last time I rode that sucker outside. I've not swam outside this year, but this is a real thing. I swam with my kids in the pool while we were on vacation in Quebec, and they had one of those long pools, and I was like, I'll do some laps here just to feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And my shoulder wouldn't turn over because of that high five injury. The Winnipeg Jets playoff high five injury is reeling.
Coming back to haunt you.
It's coming back to haunt me. So I mean, fudge. I don't know. I don't know. Worst case, I do like
breaststroke.
Yeah, I can do a 50. What would be a worst time?
Yeah, I think you could probably do a 45, 50 breaststroke type
Well, that's kind of all of my cushion, right? Like I have a 20-minute cushion, I think, based on World Championship.
What's the official time?
Okay, so the official time, we'll talk about my race quickly, then we'll get it out of the way, and then we'll talk about Charlie's race. I have to do a 2:57 barefoot triathlon today.
Yeah, so I would say for you, that's like a 35-minute compared to your best that you could do, maybe. Cushion.
Yeah, if I was trained, the best.
But you're not really trained, so.
I did a 2:22 sometime.
But you're fast on the run. You'll be fast on the run.
I'll be trained on the run. Yeah, the swim is a bit of a wild card.
The swim is the swim. Like maybe you lose 15 minutes there. Like if your shoulder,
Yeah, so I can lose 15 there.
So that then means then after you have 20 minutes, which on the bike you won't lose 20 minutes on the bike.
No, I figured 4 or 5 minutes on the bike's all I'll lose.
Yeah.
And then the run, we were chatting, me, you, and Simo yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't have the super shoes, the cheater shoes.
Yeah, but you have the original super shoe, which is the Barefoot.
The caveman super shoe.
Apparently, there's been some people say that that's the best shoe. It's just that we're not used to it. But,
so there's books on this, right? Was it Born to Run? Or?
Yeah, Born to Run. But I reread it and I felt like there was a lot of BS in that book.
I felt so too. I had never read it, and I started reading it recently.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get through the first couple chapters. It was so preachy and so.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, I'm not here to piss on another book. I'm sure it's great if you read it. But the difference that I want to point out, the two conditioning runs that I did for barefoot training, I've done 2 training runs for barefoot training. I did a 3K and I did a close to 7K. You can immediately see it if you look at my Strava, the cadence and it's just like a total change
in the way you run.
Change in the way I run. So that's, I don't know, good, bad, whatever, but it's certainly different. Nary a car on the street this morning on our way to Birds Hill. All right, let's talk about...
Well, so back to the barefoot running. I feel like I've been doing quite a bit of barefoot running.
Where? Where are you doing barefoot running?
So, because I've been practicing my transitions so much.
Yeah, wait. Charlie's doing 4-a-days at the Birds Hill Triathlon Park. Just every day he's going out before work, after work, just to try to transition better.
No, I've done it twice. I've gone twice.
More than twice?
No, twice. 2 times.
Back-to-back days, though. Didn't you?
Well, no, one day was an actual workout, and the other day was practice. Yeah.
Okay.
So one day I did 5 times around, not the whole loop. I would just go up the east path and then down.
Barefoot?
No, with my bike. But every time I'd come back to the parking lot, I would practice my dismount, and then I'd run all the way with my bike to practice, and then I'd just keep running, and then I'd hop back on my bike as I was running. But I was doing that all, not barefoot. I had socks on, but I did a lot. And I actually, one of my dismounts, I landed on a big rock, and it still hurts a bit. So that could be an issue, but I'm not too worried about it. And then the other day after the swim, I did practice running from the swim area and ended up running barefoot on the parking lot for a while. But it kind of felt good to go back to the roots of running barefoot a little bit.
We're not exaggerating when I say sometimes they'll chirp me in the city because I like running barefoot so much. I love, when I was a kid, when we were kids, we grew up in the country. We used to not wear shoes a lot in the summer, right? That's not an exaggeration. Was that a made up memory of mine?
No, we avoided wearing shoes sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember going out all the time. We were in the bush too. We grew up in the bush in Marchand, so just outside of the Sandyland Forest there, and there was a lot of pine trees and pine cones and roots, and it was very technical. If someone would say they were running an ultra there,
Yeah.
very technical course, and we ran it barefoot. So we were for sure good barefoot runners. My dad played barefoot sports. Like he would play softball at baseball tournaments and stuff, and he'd play barefoot until the day they told him to put shoes on.
Yeah, he had to start wearing. At some point, they said he had
That's
to wear
enough.
shoes.
That's enough. It's kind of like the whole helmet thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing a helmet, and then they told him you have to wear a helmet. And then when he quit hockey is when they forced him to put a visor on at the Dakota Arena.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they was playing Division
0 chance that's happening.
9 or whatever. And he's like, I'm not wearing a visor. That's enough. That's it for me. The things they make you do now. First seat belts, now visors. Kind of half kidding.
Yeah.
So barefoot running, we've done a lot of it. I feel somewhat confident in it. I will say my stride in at the World Championships when I last attempted this in October was good. Like I was cruising for the first stretch.
Yeah.
And then
It might be a little similar, the course, as to that, because there's like about I'd say there's about 1 kilometer in every loop that is like on that hard crushed gravel, which will be the hard part for you, I think.
yeah,
But
that's not fun.
You might be able to, I don't know how you're going to do that part. Maybe you'll be able to kind of go on the side, on the hard part on the side or something.
Is there a chance that they could DQ me if I'm not like on the path? You think Guinness DQ the record if it's not like if I'm on the grass next to the path?
I don't know what Guinness would do. Like, I mean, I think as long as you don't get DQ'd from the event, it would count, I believe.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I don't know what they might do their own thing, you know?
I was scrambling last week trying to get official answers because they approved my attempt. It all looked good, and then I was reading the fine print, and in the fine print there was a notification that or a mandatory surveyor's certificate needed for the course. So I was like, oh, I don't have that yet. Shucks, I got to email Triathlon Canada. So I emailed the organizers, and they're like, oh, no, we don't survey courses anymore. That's no longer a thing. They use GPS and lasers and whatever for course. I didn't know this. So like that's how they're all done apparently. And I didn't know that, so I emailed. I was like, oh my God, they're not going to allow this thing to go.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got my answer. They're okay with it, given that it's a real race.
Provincial.
Like a provincial championship.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the swim. Let's talk about you for a sec. You've been doing a lot of training, practicing for the transitions. Let's start out with your goals for this race.
Yeah, my goals for this race. Might be a little hard today with the weather as it is.
Okay, talk about that first. It's raining. It's full out windshield wipers. Not full out, but they're on level 1 or 2 on the car. And very windy, right, outside?
Wind's died down quite a bit. It's not too terrible. It's not terribly windy. It's not terrible, but that's good.
So it's cold, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's like 10, 11 degrees.
It's cold, but it's beyond where I'm going to be comfortable on the bike.
Oh, do I need additional clothes?
Oh, probably, yeah. So I'm just wearing my tri-suit, but it's going to be cold on the bike.
I didn't even bring anything.
I mean, yeah, you'll survive. It'll be cold.
My extremities will be cold.
It'll be super cold on the bike.
My hands and
You have to pedal hard.
Okay, so that's
It's the only way you're going to stay warm, because it's going to be cold on the bike, yeah.
Oh my God. See, I hadn't even thought of that. Why didn't Chad think of this when I told him yesterday it was going to be 10 or 11 degrees and cold and windy?
Yeah.
He didn't consider that.
Well, sometimes they make mistakes.
Okay, yeah, no, they often make mistakes. But, cool. Oh, are you wearing gloves or anything?
I'm just going straight up. I'm just ignoring that it's going to be super cold. And here's my thought process is it's going to be cold, but I'm going to be pedaling way harder than I usually do. And if I'm cold when the run starts, that's perfect, because then I can just go all out on the run, you know?
Yeah, plus you're only on the bike an hour, right?
Yeah,
so you
it's
can.
an hour. I'll survive an hour. But I'm worried about it. I'm worried I may have made the wrong decision.
I hadn't even thought of that. this stupid sport with all the overhead and the things you have to consider, and I shouldn't say stupid.
But you'll see other people being dressed.
gotta-
People are gonna have jackets for the bike, I guarantee you.
I got a tri-suit. I'll have one piece of clothing on.
Yeah, same, whatever. We'll be fine. I'm hoping. Anyways, I'm worried about it. But
Okay. Okay, so back to your
if
goals.
it would be 2 degrees warmer, I would not be worried. But
Okay, so swim, you've done the swim not 1,000 times, but you kind of have a pretty good idea where you're...
So one of the things I learned on the swim, though, is with this training I've been doing in the pool with other people is the impact of the draft. So,
on the swim.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 10 seconds per 100 meters difference, easily. So I'm going to try to stay calm and follow someone that is slightly faster than me.
10 seconds per 100 meters on 1,500 meters, that's
how it feels.
2.5 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's how it feels in the pool. It's probably harder, easier said than done, but we'll see. Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a tough draft in the water. Like,
well, it's easier to swim, but like it's like trying to find trying to find it is the problem, right?
Yeah, trying to find it, try to organize it, trying to stay behind, trying to be at the exact same speed, and you got to look up constantly, and because there's more than just staying in the straight line. There's also the speed and whatever. Okay, so the swim, you said what you've learned about the swim is the draft, but you're still aiming for
31. I feel like that's about a good. It all depends on the course, can vary, but I think in a 1,500 meter course, I think 31 is very comfortable for me right now. I don't want to go too hard on the swim, but we'll see.
Do you think the course will be long or short? Have you tried it yet? Have you swam it? You don't know where the buoys are.
No clue. So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll just do our best on that. There's little you can control about the length of the course, right? So,
and it's as much as it sucks. It's only a half hour, right? Like,
yeah, I'm zero worried about the swim. I've been training lots, so I'm just gonna chill out for the swim portion.
You've been in the pool in the last 9 months at least once?
Yeah.
Okay. He's ready. No, he's been swimming 2-3 times a week, so he's definitely ready. So 31 minutes on the swim, and then it's gonna be a quick transition.
Well, so I practiced that, and the hard part is getting that wetsuit off for me. So yeah, hopefully I can do the fastest transition I've ever done.
Which part of taking the wetsuit is hard?
Just
like off your arms?
No, off the arms I can do easy. It's when it gets to the ankles.
Okay, like ripping the last piece off.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any way you can ask someone, like a volunteer, to rip it off?
No.
You're just gonna do it?
No, not a thing in this triathlon.
Okay. So, but I mean, you're still gonna do a fast transition.
Yeah. So I think as soon as I get to the point where I'm like with wetsuits at my waist, I'm gonna try to take the whole thing off because I feel like I can run so much faster once it's off. So really go hard on getting that bottom part off. Once that's off, run to the rest of the way to transition. Put the socks on, put the helmet on, and then let's go.
Socks, helmet, shoes.
Flying mount. Let's go.
Flying mount. Let's go.
But when I say flying mount, it really means like trotting, kind of going really slow, but at the same time moving mount.
Are your shoes on the bike?
Yep.
Oh, you practiced that? Obviously, you practiced that 1,000 times.
No, I practiced it probably 15 times.
15?
15, yeah.
15 times?
Yeah.
So you're close to getting it, I would imagine?
I need a bit more practice, but it should be all right.
Okay. Time for practice this morning or no?
No, this morning's about relaxing and getting ready for the race.
This morning's about setting up the GoPro camera. Did I bring the GoPro?
We need to go back.
Je vais aller back, sinon. Je vais aller back si je l'oublie. I think it's in the bag.
Uh-huh.
I think it's in the bag.
Sure? Check it. I'll just stop here and then we can...
Fudge. God, yes. Did I bring the GoPro? Yes. Okay, I did. The old panic for no reason.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good.
Panic
Got it.
for no
Panic
reason
for
are
no
way
reason.
better than the panics for reason.
Yes, panic for no reason. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, it's for you, it's just relax. For me, it's just set up the GoPro, get it all set up, and good. Okay, and then the bike. Okay, so the order for those that don't know in a triathlon is swim, bike, run. Swim, you get out of the water, you do the transition. There's one transition area. They call it T1 for transition 1 between swim and bike, and then they call it T2 for transition 2 between bike and run. So what do you want to do on the bike today? You've been doing millionmiles.com on the bike.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. So the plan is to try to ride at 280 watts consistently for maybe, a bit harder up the hills and into the wind. West wind, which will actually make the course much harder.
West wind.
Well, I think it's harder because the two hills are kind of going in the west direction. So basically you're going to be going, the two big hills, you're going to be going upwind as well.
Yeah, that makes it harder.
I would say that makes it harder because then you're going to be downwind for the whole northern section. And when you get to the parking lot, you're going to lose all that speed that you got from the wind. So
right, because that's interrupted with the parking lot.
Yeah. So anyways, I think it's not ideal in terms of time. So I'm just going to focus on 200, average at least 280 watts for the entire hour.
Just take the output variable out. Like your variable is input.
Well, yeah, but and then stay in aero obviously is
yeah, but the things you can focus and control.
Yeah.
Stay in aero, good form.
So those two things. So once I'm on the bike, once I got my shoes clipped, once I got my feet in my shoes, it's go time.
Yeah, once you got your feet in your shoes, it's go time. Okay, so then you've been training. I've been seeing a lot of fast speeds on your bike. This is an all-out effort for 1 hour. So do you think 1 hour is in reach for you? The coveted sub 1 hour bike time on the triathlon?
Well, the big question mark is I'm not sure how well my bike will perform, so I did a couple changes. It's a tough course because there's two big hills plus, so there's actually 3 big hills per loop, so there's actually 9 hills in a 40-kilometer loop. So that's pretty significant elevation, which makes the course, it's actually a decently elevated course.
You wouldn't think so in Manitoba, but this is a spot where there's hills.
Yeah, because there's 9 of them in 40 kilometers, right? So
plus the 2 turnarounds between loop 1 and loop...
That's the third one.
Okay, sorry. So, but just the actual act of turning around.
Yeah, exactly. Plus 2 turnarounds.
Those are hairpin turns that you're slowing down to 0.
Yeah.
So, that's tough.
Yeah.
Tough on your speed, right? If you're averaging... You've actually got to average 42 kilometers an hour probably to get, or 41, right? To make up for that 40 and a half, something to make up if you want to do 40.
When I was practicing, I was averaging only, on that section, I was averaging maybe 32. So then, you lose, it's going to be hard.
I did notice you got the most ever attempts on the Strava for the parking lot.
Parking lot exit
at the Birds Hill Triathlon. So most efforts. What do they call them? Attempts? Efforts?
Efforts.
Most efforts. Yeah. Okay, so you're hoping to get kind of close to an hour, but that would be a pipe dream today, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't.
Seems like that would be very hard.
Unless my bike really performs a lot better than I think it can. Because a lot of the question mark is how aero is my bike with my new setup? I don't know.
Do you think my bike's aero right now?
Probably not very much.
It's been in the basement for 2 years.
Probably giving up a lot of watts compared to mine. So yeah, we'll see. Control what I can control.
Okay.
So stay aero, 280 watts. That's the plan.
280 watts, stay aero, 280 watts for an hour. I don't even have a watt meter.
Yeah.
So I don't know I'm just gonna go hard enough that I'm not cold.
So for me, the physical or mental cue for when I know I'm going hard enough in an Olympic is it's got to burn a little bit. My legs got to burn a little bit the whole time, or else I'm not going hard enough.
Wow. Okay, that's valuable intel because I usually never get there. That's really valuable intel. Okay, it's got to burn a little bit. Then you're getting off the bike. You're finishing your third loop of the Birds Hill 11 point whatever kilometer course, plus the turns. And then you're getting in. You're flying off your bike. You're dismounting past the line. Before the line. Before the line.
But full stride.
Full stride. So
full stride as I land, yeah.
So you're landing, you've practiced this, you're going to come off full stride.
Yeah.
You're going to drop off your bike, you're going to rack it.
Yep.
You're going to take your helmet off.
Helmet off. Yep.
And then
shoes on.
Shoes on, because you don't even have to worry about your shoes. They're staying on the bike.
Shoes on, that's it.
So you're running in socks or barefoot?
Socks.
Socks. Shoes on. Alpha Flies, Vapor Flies.
Yeah. My Alpha Fly 3s.
Alpha Fly 3s, he likes those.
Second race with them. We'll see how they go.
What color are they?
Yellow.
Okay.
I do like the feel of them. I guess I'm speeding a little bit.
You'll be speeding more than this on the bike.
Yeah, hopefully.
Shoes on.
And then, so the run course is interesting. There's a pretty big hill right away in the first kilometer. So I kind of ran that practice the other day, and my plan is I have to just go hard at the beginning, because it's kind of hard to trick your mind when you're doing that triathlon to just go hard, because you can do it. It's just, it feels hard at the beginning. So I'm just gonna go hard up that hill as hard as I can. 420 up the hill, and then try to settle in to like eventually you get all that back and average 406 for the run.
For a 41-minute run.
41-minute run. That's the plan. But I know that run will be painful. I'm hoping that I can maintain that the entire 10K and just like power through the pain, because I know that it's going to be hard. Yeah.
So tough 10K. How many loops is it? Is it 2 loops?
2 loops, yeah.
2 loops, and the course kind of goes around the lake, if I recall. I don't even remember.
The good thing about the run is the conditions are going to be awesome. So maybe if I feel good, I'll go faster.
Why are the conditions going to be? Oh, because the temperature.
Yeah, it's going to be like 10 degrees.
Yeah, it's ideal running, pretty brutal biking.
Yeah, it's brutal biking, but ideal running.
And great swimming temperatures.
Swimming.
I don't know.
Swimming will be nice.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Where are we here? Oh, this part. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this part's you're going to be winding our back here, right?
Yeah, so here we're going to be going really fast.
Flying here.
Yeah.
But you're saying you lose your speed because by the time you get to the turn.
Well, the hard turn,
and it's on a downhill. You lose all your speed because on the downhill you have to turn. Downhill, downwind over there, right?
Well, yeah, that's every year.
Yeah, but this time you have the
But here you probably have so much speed, you're probably... I'm guessing I'm hitting 45 kilometers an hour here.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, or even more, but...
So that gives you a 31-minute swim, 101 bike, 41 run is 2 hours and, 13 minutes?
2 hours 14.
14?
Plus transition.
Plus transitions, 2 hours 14. Which one is 31? Oh, 2-minute bike, 102.
Yeah, 102 bike.
102 on the bike.
I didn't say my goal.
Okay, yeah, but you told me yesterday,
So 102 on the bike.
This is where Charlie has the most efforts, right here. He's done a million efforts.
I'm the, what do you call it, the local legend?
Local legend of this path right here that we are driving on right now. So that is a 2:16 triathlon, Charlie? Would that be your personal best?
Yes. Yeah.
What is your PB?
2:19 St. Malo short swim course.
Oh, wow, 2:19. Man, we're going to see Simo there. Who else are we going to know? By the way, Simo? Holy smokes, he's fast.
Oh, yeah.
I know we've said it a lot, but congrats, Simo. You're fast, man.
Yeah.
That's probably him doing practice runs right here.
Yeah,
There's a cyclist.
The bike works.
Yeah,
good job.
it works. It works. The bike works. Maybe he's like me, Charlie, and that guy hasn't tried his bike.
Yeah, probably.
Charlie's chirping a guy who's practicing.
No, I didn't think... You're going to have to practice my bike, too.
Why?
Just to see if it works, but I'm in my wetsuit.
Oh, the pressure of trying.
You know what, it's fine. I'm sure it works.
Okay, so 2:16 for Charlie. The record is 2:57, which, I mean, now that we're sitting here talking about triathlons, like, it's a bit of a joke. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. It's so hard to get this Barefoot Triathlon. I've been training so hard for this Guinness record. No, as long as I don't have a bad day, I should have it. there's no real reason I don't get this record.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if I can't swim, I should still be able to get it. Even if I have to do a 45-minute. Because I think 30 kilometers an hour is kind of what I can do barefoot, I think, for me. So that puts me at 120 for the swim. So 120 for the bike. 45 minutes because no super shoes. That's Joel? Oh no, it looks like Joel. We are in the parking lot. There's a lot of people here, a lot of triathletes, a lot of people excited.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to park where I can back into the thing. I'm going to park here, actually.
Yeah, this is a great spot. So I got to set up all my camera. There's a bit of overhead for me on this record.
Put air in my tires.
Charlie's got to put air. I did that yesterday, but I got to make sure. I'm just going to finish this one sentence about this, what I have to do for this Guinness record. So
I'll listen.
I have to set up the GoPro that's recording the swim.
Yep.
So that it catches me coming out of the swim barefoot, just to make sure I'm not wearing flippers, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna put the thing on, the GoPro on, before I get to transition. So it's gonna have as much footage as possible. Then it's gonna record my transition, my bike, and my jog. So I'm gonna have like 90% of the event recorded, 100% if you count. It's not gonna see all of it, but. And then I'm going to submit it, and hopefully they accept this record. Last time I did a 2:36 in Spain. Hopefully I can do something like that today. I don't really care what I do. I just got to get this done, get it over with, and then focus on our next A race, which is on July 16th. All right, guys, wish us luck. We're at the parking lot, Birds Hill. We're going to go run this race. Charlie, good luck.
All right, thank you. You too.
Okay, that's a wrap on the Birds Hill Provincial Triathlon. One Guinness record in the book. In the books, I guess, or the book. I don't know. That's me. I got that. 2 hours and 31 minutes and something. And that is a personal best for me, barefoot triathlon. I beat my PB by like 4 minutes, I think. 5 minutes. Personal best. Although today was a much easier course than the Worlds in Spain because there's less turnarounds and you can go way straighter. But still, I'm impressed with that time. Very pleased with how that went. Charlie, PB today? Not quite.
Course PB.
Course PB?
Yep. So third time doing it, the fastest I've done it. It went, I mean, you know, that's the thing with triathlon. It never goes perfectly. There's always seconds that you can feel you could trim off here or there. If we start with the swim, your time came in kind of right around where you want it to be, a tad ahead, I think. Yeah, 30 and a half, but I was probably secretly hoping it would be a little faster. Didn't really get to use the draft or anything, but I settled in. First loop, it was very stressful. There's a lot of people, and second loop, I kind of settled in and went hard. How about you? How did you swim? I was talking to Trav. Shout out to our buddy Trav Jansen, who who's also doing the Ottawa Ironman this year. We're gonna get him on the podcast. Yeah, we gotta get Trav. I love Trav. Big Trav fan. He's a beauty. I'm a big fan of a lot of people, but I'm a big fan of Trav. And I've done 3 Ironman with him, I think. 2 for sure. 1, 2, I think 3. And he was saying how the guy's done a lot of Ironman, a lot of triathlons. He's been doing this for a long time. And today he was telling me, this is the day I die. This is how I die. Because it's like, I couldn't breathe. I was in the water and people were swimming around. I'm like, Trav, you've done like 50 of these. He goes, I know, but I was like so stressed out and panicky. It's weird because I was like, the first 5 minutes, I was like, I'm not enjoying this again. I had that feeling again where I was not enjoying it. But then I settled in and it was fine. I think it's on a spectrum for me every time I do an Ironman. And like, to be honest, it was like, I'm not enjoying this, but like, it wasn't like, it was like a 3 out of 10. You know, yeah, you weren't thinking you were dying. No, I wasn't like that. It was just like, you weren't thinking I have to stop. I was just like, okay, I got to settle down here. Like, basically is kind of what. You were aware that you were panicking. You're just like, okay, calm down. I'm just swimming. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So that's, that might be a 3 on 10. From what I heard from Trav, he was like a 9 on 10. Yeah.
He was like, this is how I die. I've had that.
And he's done many Ironmans.
I think he's done 9 Ironman.
I think the Ironmans are less hectic, actually. The last few that I've done, because they space you out in waves, and you're basically you're only 4 at a time. So I feel like they're less hectic, definitely. These are good practice for Ironmans.
Yeah, great practice to remind yourself that you're probably not actually going to die in the water, and you're probably not. Travis like, this is how old people die. They get a heart attack, and I was like, Trav, you could touch the bottom the whole race. The Birds Hill Lake is a little low.
It's a little shallow.
It's a little shallow. The first, what would you say, 200 meters of the loop?
It was like 2 feet deep.
There was a time when my elbows were hitting the ground. And I was like, okay, well, this is not.
I was doing the old 2 steps, 3 steps dive.
Very shallow swim for Birds Hill. Very, very shallow. So, anyways, I was like, Trav, you weren't going to die. He's like, I know, and I've done a lot of these, but it was panicky. And I feel for the guy because I've probably had 1 or 2 9 on 10s in terms of panic, but it's always like a 2 or a 3 or a 4. Like, it's never smooth. It's never like, yep, I know exactly what I'm doing, and this is what I want to do, and I'm enjoying this. Never. It's never been that for me. I don't know about you, but
the only one to me was the Sacramento. Kind of felt like that for me.
The down current
stream. I just embraced it, and it was super chill the entire time.
The cheater swim, as we call it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we did the first loop. I came in at 13:20 on the first, 13:30 or something on the first loop, and exited the water for me. On my watch, it said 27:30 or something. They gave me a time of 28 something on the website.
Yeah, so I was significantly faster on the second loop. I was on my watch, it said 15:15, but then when I checked as I was exiting the water, it said 29:30, which would mean it was like a 14:15, so a minute faster on the
pretty significant negative. So yeah, it's almost like you're like, I can do. It's honestly, it's probably just emotion.
I was telling myself, I'm like you're done. You don't have to use your arms after. You're like,
yeah, just go. Just go, Rob.
You don't need to use your arms. Just go harder,
Yeah, and okay, it's right there. Okay, you know what? I'll just go hard. And then you start getting into your good swim stroke.
Yeah, exactly.
You start actually, for me, I was like, hey, do your good swim stroke here and focus. And came out of the water. It was good. I had an issue. I know you want to talk about your transition, but before that, I had set up my GoPro on the beach, and it was recording the swim. And my plan was to come out of the water, grab the GoPro. As it was recording, I had asked Simo's wife, lovely wife Sonia, to help me with that. She was recording, she was checking it to make sure it was recording, and then I was going to put it on around my chest. The strap was already on. I had my chest mount, and then I was going to just wear it the rest of the race. Problem is, when I went to put it on my chest, the strap broke. Didn't practice. I should have practiced chest mounting my GoPro. So I was like, okay, now what? So I kind of MacGyvered it. I had to tie it around the thing. Anyways, I lost, I don't know how much time, but it wasn't fun freaking out. No, stupid GoPro. And I don't know, how'd your transition go?
Yeah, so I had a couple swears as I was coming out of the water. Couldn't find my zipper. So it took me 20 seconds to find the zipper to finally get the zipper for the top.
To unzip the wetsuit.
Yeah, upper body, to get the upper body off. So finally I did that, and then the upper body came off pretty well. I slid down everything to I guess I'm going too fast. Slid down.
You're going faster on bike or in car here?
Car.
Well, because it's downhill.
Yeah, the downhill. Then I decided as soon as I'm in an area where I can take the entire wetsuit off, I would stop and do that. And I did that, and it went fairly okay.
Like in the grass there somewhere?
Yeah, as soon as I was kind of in the grass, it went fairly okay, but I struggled a little bit to get the wetsuit off. But then as soon as I was done, then I felt like I could run. So I ran pretty hard after I had got the wetsuit off. How about you? What did you do to get
I think we had roughly the same time on the transition. So I must have gained a bit of time after the GoPro, because I think you had a re-racking issue with your bike, right?
No, I had no issues after that. I think my transition was slightly faster.
Did they make you re-rack your bike?
That was T2.
Oh, T2. Okay. So T1, I had to re-rack my bike because I hadn't put my helmet on.
Oh, yeah.
So I know these rules. This is just me not practicing. The rules exist for a reason, and I'm not chirping the rules. I just wasn't sharp enough.
Yeah.
I came in, I grabbed my bike, and then I was running, and she's like, "Your helmet. You don't have a helmet." And I was like, I forgot my helmet. So I went back, and I went to just put my helmet on, but she told me I had to re-rack my bike before I put my helmet on. So I re-racked my bike, put it back on the thing, put the helmet on, and then went biking. So yeah, I lost some time there for sure, but I saved time by not having to wear shoes.
Yeah, so I had my shoes clipped in. That worked very well. I went...
Practice paid off.
So I ran with the bike. I feel like I'm like surprised at myself. This is something I'm really pleased about, is like, I couldn't do the run with the bike where, you're holding the seat instead of the steering wheel.
Okay, so this is like a technique that the pros do. They have one hand on the seat, and they're running at a decent clip, and the bike is just going straight.
Yeah, so it's basically like steering your bike, but with the seat.
Because your hands are not on the handlebars.
Yeah. So
you're running.
You're just kind of shifting the bike to steer it to make sure it keeps going straight. And so I'm really happy that I've learned this new skill, because I can run pretty well with the bike. So I did that, and I did turns around, transition, everything.
To be fair, the transition was longer than last year.
It was way longer.
Because they force you to go all the way back to that corner.
Yeah, the transition was way longer than last year. So I feel like...
That's longer. That's at least
my
20
transition
seconds.
was 2:19, and I was hoping it would be more like a minute.
Okay, so you crushed me in transition. I thought you were 3:19. So I was 3:20 or whatever.
Yeah, so 2:19, but I think I maybe lost 10 seconds struggling trying to find that zipper, and I maybe lost a few seconds like getting the bottom part of my wetsuit was hard. Your wetsuit came off no problem?
Yeah, not an issue. I just unzipped it in the back, and then I went halfway down. I had to put my GoPro on, and then when I got to transition, I sat down and I pulled it off.
Yeah. So I basically did that, but I did it before transition so I could run carrying the wetsuit.
Probably would have been faster. Yeah. I wasn't thinking it too through. And then I thought I wasn't sure how good my swim. I thought it was good, but I thought maybe it was a short course, and I hadn't seen you in the water, so I thought you very well might be ahead of me. I actually thought that.
No, I knew you were ahead of me because I'd seen you the whole way, and then I knew that I hadn't passed you. So I knew you were ahead of me for sure.
You could spot me in the water, like my wetsuit?
Well, you were right ahead of me. The first buoy.
Okay.
And then at that point, I think at some point halfway I slowed down a little bit.
On the first loop?
I was saying I got passed by a group of about 5 people.
On the first loop? On
the first loop going to the buoy. And then ironically, I kind of just followed them.
Did you feel your drafting was benefiting?
No, I wasn't drafting at all. I took a different line than they did.
There's something to be said about having a different line and having a clear path, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just very less stressful at that point. I was just going straight. I had my buoy lined up, and I just went straight. Right?
For those that don't know and have never done this, one thing that's tough is the sighting. And I just want to try to put this in perspective. So you're swimming, and there's no way to see in front of you if you're just doing a natural stroke, because you're looking to the right or left. I'm an ambi breather, so I breathe on both sides. Charlie breathes on one side. But for you to look ahead, you kind of have two choices. You could kind of stop your stroke, look up, or you can kind of peek. Are you pretty good at peeking?
I do little peeks sometimes.
I can kind of peek and keep my stroke going.
Yeah, I think that's
just the top.
It's good to because if you have to do the whole head out,
you lose a ton of time.
You lose speed, and it takes a bunch of effort. So me, for example, when we're at the corners, I psych myself up because I'm I know this, to keep my speed, it's going to be way more effort to kind of be sighting and turning at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you give up way more effort when you're doing the corners, around the buoys?
You're giving up, or you mean?
I'm just saying, are you spending more effort?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure around the corners, because you want to be tight to that corner.
Yeah, and you don't want to slow down too much. You want to keep your speed.
Yeah, and if you lose your speed, now you're starting over from scratch, which means way more effort.
I feel like those are intense periods when you
got to nail them.
Yeah.
I feel like I did good on those.
I was relatively happy with my swim.
Your car?
One of my cars, yeah.
Charlie's got a car.
So I'm relatively happy with the swim, but whatever.
Okay transition. You feel like you maybe left 30 seconds out there.
Okay transition. As I did my flying mount, so I'd practiced this practiced way too much of this, and as I did my flying mount, I was good, but then I landed it, and then I like swerved to the right, because sometimes you're like, it takes a second or two to like get full control of the bike, because you're not pedaling at that point, right? Like you have to put your feet on the pedals before you can.
So your feet are on the shoes, and they're not in the shoes yet. They're just floating on top.
No, sorry, at this point my feet aren't even on top of the shoes or on the pedals. I'm just like on the bike.
Oh, you're just getting your bum on the bike.
On the bike, and I'm like steering, right? But with no propulsion. So I veer to the right, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to crash into this cone. So I slam on the brakes a little bit, and it wasn't too bad because I could just stop. And then I just started right.
Didn't you hit a cone?
Yeah, I hit the cone.
Yeah.
But then I just started straight from there. And
from like zero.
So yeah, but I was already in position. So honestly, it still saved me a bunch of time. And the crash only cost me like 1 or 2 seconds.
Perfect. So that's good.
Yeah.
And then I'm busting up the hills there, and I'm thinking, why did I decide to do this again? Because you start with those hills, those 2 hills, one I'll say bigger hill, and then I was like,
well, it's kind of like actually there's 2 hills out of the parking lot, right?
Yeah, I'd say there's 2, and then there's the other one right after.
The big one, and then that one was right into the wind, that hill today.
Oh my God, I didn't enjoy that. And then I was kind of half looking at my watch, but not really, and thinking, oh my God, like this is going to take me way longer than an hour 20. But we were against the wind.
Yeah, so on the way back.
And the hills.
So I kept checking my watch. So coming out of the parking lot, I was a little sore because I went hard up the hill with my feet on the pedals, and then as soon as I hit the flat, I had some speed, and then I put both my feet in, and it took me a while to like tighten them because my hands were so cold. So tighten the shoes. Once I had my shoes tightened, then I could kind of pedal, but I checked my speed, my average speed on my watch. It could tell me my average speed, and it started off like it was like 31 once I got out of the parking lot, and then slowly it kept going up and up, and I was like, okay, I need to get to 38 by the time this is done
to get your time,
to get a decent time. And it was interesting because
the chase
it kept slightly creeping up.
Right. So every
point one.
But
every time I come into the parking lot, it would like go back down a little bit, and then I'd have to
Yeah, I wasn't following it that close. But then you passed me kind of in that first hill. Between those,
right after the first hill.
Right after the first hill,
the first big.
You were flying, and I was okay with that. I was like, oh, okay, I beat him in the swim. Okay, that's good.
I said, hey, no drafting.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't know why I wasn't drafting. I got passed by that.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe. I just didn't want you to get like in trouble or anything.
I wasn't. She had just passed me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what are my obligations here? I guess I have to slow down. So I slowed. Yeah. But what's kind of crazy is, imagine two people.
Sometimes you get these light riders that are fast up the hills.
She passed me, and right away I had to pass her back.
Yeah, that happens.
That was Brandy. She was she had a bad break on the run, and I'll talk about that later. But good for me. I was like,
oh, it's Victor.
Oui? Hey, Victor, my buddy Victor. Yo, Victor. This is my boy Victor. I saw him after the bike, and he was just standing. I'm like, oh, what happened? He got injured? No, he was just doing the swim.
Yeah, he had told me already. He was just doing the relay.
Okay, so 3 loops of misery, and I realized
I had so much fun on the bike. Actually,
it's not fun.
My time wasn't great, but I was really challenging myself. You know that turn into the parking lot?
Yeah, how fast you could take it?
How fast I could take it without
from the road to the...
Yeah.
I'm not good. I'm not good at handling the bike, clearly, because I haven't been on a bike outside all year. This was my first time outside on a bike all year.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks that I was telling you earlier is I saw you when you passed me. You were going straight. Your head was down. I looked from behind. Your body was so aerodynamic. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm that aerodynamic. I don't think I am. And then I looked at my bike, and here I am going like right to left, sometimes on every stride because I'm so just terrible at biking. So you're definitely more efficient.
I feel like though sometimes I'm not. It's a thing that I'm like trying to be aware of, but like sometimes when I'm pedaling really hard, I'm not as efficient. Like I'm going back and forth for sure.
And I realized in the first loop that like every time I've ever biked, I've always considered it like a zone 2 type thing where you're just biking and like you're not gonna push hard to bike, but then every time I see your workouts, you're busting it. So I'm like, oh, maybe I've never thought of this the right way. Maybe I need to push harder. So okay, I'm gonna push harder. And I tried to push till I was breathing heavy and I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't push as hard as you push.
Maybe your legs just don't have the capacity yet to
to
like your heart definitely like your heart and your lungs have the cardiovascular.
Yeah, but I could just change gears and have more cadence, right? And have less power.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To start, you should probably do higher cadence because you got all that extra capacity.
It just wasn't fun. It's just not fun to just, for me, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyways, I should say not fun. I was like, 3 loops. I could do 3 loops of this. Then I get to jog. And I was barefoot.
Yeah.
Barefoot for the swim,
impressive.
barefoot for the bike. My barefoot pedals. So good. Shout out to Marco from my boy Marco, who helps me out with everything in life, who got those pedals figured out for me. Oh, so good. But I changed them myself yesterday. Changed my pedals myself like a big boy. I was able to change my own pedals.
Good job.
Yeah, it's good. So what was your time on the bike? Anything else funny happen on the bike?
I passed a lot of people.
Yeah, you must have passed everyone.
Well, yeah, I guess I was like 20th out of the swim and ended up 5th.
5th on the bike?
5th after the bike.
You were 5th. What was your bike ranking? Like?
Oh, I think I was about 5th.
Yeah, okay.
So last year I was 3rd or something. So
Labby,
there was, I think,
Simo.
There was Simo's all of a sudden like one of the best bikers.
Let's talk about Simo real quick. This is the guy that came to us and did the backyard with us and kind of started around the same time as us, I think, about making changes in his life and maybe a little after. But last year I beat him on every triathlon we did. I beat him in St. Malo, I beat him in Birds Hill, and he was a very stronger biker than me, but I would pass him on the run. No chance that's happening now for me. Like what was his bike time? An hour?
He was a minute. He was only a minute and a half faster than me. I was expecting it to be more than that.
Okay, but he's trimmed like 12 minutes or whatever in a year.
Yeah. Well, last year I would beat him by like 6 minutes on the bike, and then this year he's beating me by a minute. Well, so far I feel like he probably has more in him. Well, I think I have more in me too. But anyways, he beat me by a minute and a half.
Just impressive is all I'm saying. Is Simo how quick he's progressed. So congrats to Simo.
But I did beat him by 0.37 seconds on the run.
Nice. Behind me, both of you guys. On a barefoot run. Yes. I got one thing on those 2 guys. So Simo finished 4th overall, I think.
Yeah, 4th overall.
Behind Labby was 2nd. I'm not sure. Teron Baker won. So congrats to Teron Baker.
He was a really good athlete last year. He must have gotten a better bike or something because he's fast on the bike now.
Yeah, super fast on the bike. Nice run, Teron Baker. Nice run, Simo. Simo.
And then Brent, another guy, the other fast cyclist guy. So I think I was only the 5th fastest on the bike.
What did you finish overall? Sorry to
5th.
5th. Okay, so 5th fastest on the bike, 20th fastest on the run, and like I don't think you were top 5 on the. Sorry, 20th on the swim. Were you top 5 on the run? No way.
No,
because you made
so slow on the run.
You made up your time on the bike. You crushed on the bike. So let's get to T2. So by the way, I did an hour 14 for my bike, which was way faster than I thought. So very pleased with that.
Yeah.
No pedals again. No shoes. So that's pretty good. Charlie did 103.
No, there's 102 something.
102 something, okay.
Yeah.
And then
so it's like a minute and a half improvement, I think. No, sorry. I forget what I got last year. 104. I think I was like right around.
So it was a bike PB?
Bike PB for the course, yeah.
Bike PB for the course. Well, that's what you should compare it to, right?
Yeah.
Because St. Malo's different.
St. Malo is way faster.
Did you do any other ones last year? Did you do like the one at Clear Lake? And
I've done that one, yeah.
But you didn't do it last year? Because last year you were a different animal than the year before on the bike.
I think at the end of last year I was definitely faster than I am now.
Yeah, but you're gonna be faster this year, unequivocally.
I hope so.
Yeah, you will be 100%, 100%. So PB on the bike, and then you get into T2, and you also had a little bit of helmet issues in T2.
Yeah, so
re-rack.
I had a hard time finding where to rack my bike because
We should have gone earlier. We should have gone earlier to the course.
I know. I never thought of how am I going to identify where I am coming out of T2. I thought about it T1. I know I'll see my bike. It's easy. But
why would it be easier out of T1 than T2? Sorry.
Well, because I didn't have. I put a towel.
Oh, you have your bike.
I put a towel over my shoes. I think had I not had the towel over my shoes, I could have just seen where my shoes are.
But it was raining, and you wanted to protect your shoes.
So if I had not put the towel, I would have recognized where it was. So, anyways, I went to the wrong place, and then I started to rack my bike, and I started to take my helmet off at the same time as I'm racking my bike, and this woman runs across the stadium or the area, and anyways, so I had to put my helmet back on. As I'm trying to put my helmet back on, the visor falls to the ground, so I now have to pick up my visor, put the helmet back on, re-clip everything, and then I have to go and find where my
we both had the same similar issues.
It would have been perfect. I think I would have done under a minute, but I had that issue where it probably cost me 40 seconds.
40 seconds there. That's the thing with triathlon, eh? Like,
there's always
you could easily trim a minute and a half right there, and like you work so hard on your bike.
Yeah.
Like,
everything went perfect up to when I got into transition. Like getting off the bike was so smooth. I was like, I took the shoes, the feet were off, everything, running,
and then
running right off. It was great until I got to transition. Yeah.
Okay, so a bit of a slower transition, maybe 40 seconds behind. For me, I think my total transition time was like 40 seconds, and I'm trying to think why it would have taken me 40 seconds.
Putting the shoes on, maybe.
I don't have shoes.
Where do they actually start the run? Relative to the
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Because I did have to grab my phone, and so my GoPro was dying, and I had a spare battery for my GoPro, because I always keep spare batteries. But I was thinking, the changing a battery on a GoPro is so hard for me when I'm running or biking. It's very hard, and if it's on a chest mount, I was like, no, I don't want that experience right now. So instead, I had my phone there. Because I have to record every moment of my run, right?
Yeah.
I said I'm just going to record on my phone. I'm just going to record the whole run on my phone if I have to. I'm not changing the battery. It's going to be a disaster. So I forgot my phone. So I went back. I got my phone. Maybe that's 5 seconds, 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So I got my phone and I was ready to record the whole thing. And that hill to start, you were right. There is a hill to start.
Yeah, there's a hill. But to me, what's even worse than the hill is the grass. Like, I guess you were barefoot, so you probably like the grass.
I love the grass.
But like running on the grass with my shoes,
cheater shoes,
it just feels so much harder.
Yeah. So get going on this thing, and I didn't really know what the course was. You kind of told me it was mostly concrete. I'll just tell a quick.
Maybe next time, what I should do is just pick up my shoes, run with my bare feet, the whole grass section, and as soon as I get to the hard
put the shoes on.
Put the shoes on.
I wonder if you'd be faster. I don't think you'd be
feel
faster.
like I was definitely slower. I feel like I could have run the grass part barefoot faster. But
so turn the corner, grass, get on this path. 10K ahead of us. Kind of went well for me. The porous concrete, felt good. I was running, and then
they changed the course. There was no bad sections for you.
Last kilometer,
except for the last little part. Yeah.
The last 0.9 kilometers.
No, I think that was 600 meters.
Whatever. Okay, but no, from the aid station, Charlie, the whole way, pretty much.
The aid station.
Yeah, because that whole stretch, and there's a bit of road, and then there's It's most of the last kilometer.
Almost a full kilometer. It's like 800 meters.
But it's like unbearable. It's and then that first loop, I felt some cuts on my feet. Like I felt not blisters. Blisters are fine. Blisters are not a real injury. Yeah. But like I felt a slice. So that I knew. I looked down and I could see the blood. So I was like, oh, this sucks. So I think my first loop was maybe 20 minutes and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was on pace for...
I was like 23.
On pace for a good time. And I'll just finish my loop and then I'll let you tell your story. But on my second loop, so I started slowing down. It's not an excuse here, but it is a little bit of an excuse. I was like, my feet were starting to hurt. And I was like, I don't want to damage this. And the faster I was running, the more it would hurt. So I was just slowing down. So I slowed down. I was like, I'm going to get the record by 1,000,000 miles.
Yeah.
I need to run a 3:45 pace at the Manitoba Marathon in like 6 days. So I'm just going to coast is what I thought. But I still went pretty hard. It's tough to do a 10K after a bike.
I don't know why it was so hard. I think I'm not in as good shape as I was last year in terms of running. Like I did do way faster. I was way faster in Boston. For some reason, I thought I was going to be just as fast this year as last year, but I'm not. It was hard.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
I think I'll come back.
You'll definitely come back.
But I just don't think my running is where it was.
Well, you're like in week 3 of your training, right?
Yeah. So I had done a couple runs where I'd like simulated going at like a 41-minute pace for a 10K, like 4:06 per kilometer. And I just didn't. I kind of gave up mentally right away. I was like, I don't think I have it. And
you should do it on a treadmill. It's way easier on a treadmill.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Quick story, side story. I had to do tempos last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I did one outside. Chimoy, right?
Yeah.
And I had to keep 6-minute miles. I had to do 3 of them. 3 6-minute miles. It was hard. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the third one. I did the first 2 and I could not do the third one. Then there was some smoke this week. So I went indoors. I did my treadmill. I had to do 10 minutes times 2 at 6-minute miles. No sweat on the treadmill. No sweat, because it does it for you. It does the work for you. So I think it's easier if you're doing those fast workouts on the treadmill for what it's worth. And this will be a debate one day. Charlie and I are going to do an episode podcast, treadmill versus outside. Anyways, so it was hard today for you.
Yeah, I mean, I started off, I think I was around 44-minute pace for a while. And then I kind of was like, it's just not going to happen today, kind of. So I kind of coasted a bit. But then apparently I was talking to some other guys that I passed on the last loop, and he was like, this guy's working hard.
You were working hard,
yeah.
Did you say?
So it's like, this guy's working way harder than me.
It's hard to go 170 heart rate on a 10K when it's just so hard mentally. I don't know why. I didn't do it today.
Well, I was like 4 minutes behind Simo, and I was like 5 minutes ahead of the next guy behind me.
It didn't matter.
So it was hard. It was hard to. I knew I wasn't going to do the 41. I knew that was no chance. I guess I could have said, at some point I said, okay, 43 maybe, but then I was like, just 45.
I wasn't even watching my watch. I was like, let's just end this misery, end this pain here.
Yeah. Because
it started getting bad on the second loop. I'd never done more than 7K, and it started getting really chopped up, and I started seeing the puddles of blood when I was running. I gotta... quick story about the girl. 2 runners I saw went the wrong way.
Yeah.
They did an extra 2K because no volunteer told them to turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt so bad. I'm like, hey, you're going the wrong way. And she was like, where am I supposed to turn? I was like, oh my God, you missed the turn. It's like a mile back.
They should have just had maybe a person just being like circling his arm saying, turn here.
My second loop there was someone there doing that. I just feel bad for those runners who did an extra couple K. I mean, it's happened to me before. Fredericton, I did an extra 2.5 miles.
Yeah, and now that I reflect on it, like I know that I knew the course, so it was like, but there wasn't really no indication.
There wasn't on my first loop. There was not any indication. We know the course. You're right. It's possible that there was someone who was supposed to do it and they maybe just stepped aside for a minute or two. Yeah. I'm not chirping the course and the organization because it is a fantastic...
They do a really good job.
They do a fantastic job. This is the best race in the province, I think.
Triathlon Manitoba does a really good job.
Triathlon, Jared Spear, everyone over there, they crush it. They dominate. It might have just been a very minor oversight, or she just didn't see the volunteer. It's possible. Who knows? Anyways, felt bad for her. I finished the last kilometer on the extremely sharp crushed gravel, which was the...
And you still beat me in the run.
And I still beat my brother in the run. Yeah, but I didn't go nearly as hard on the bike, so I had way fresher legs. But I am officially now a Guinness record holder. Affidavits are signed. Well, they're not signed yet, but I spoke to Jared. He validated on camera that I completed it. Pretty cool. Charlie, how do you feel?
I could feel okay. Feel like could be better. Whatever.
Okay.
A little disappointed.
Do you want to talk quick about the pacing strategy for next weekend? Just a couple minutes really, on what you're going to do for the Manitoba Marathon to make sure the mileage. Todd Friesen put a comment in his Strava that he's just going to do kind of what we thought about doing. Add 400 meters and just do...
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to do?
I talked to a few people about it, and they one person who's paced multiple marathons, she said to use 26.4.
Okay, 26.4.
Just whatever the pace is for 26.4.
320 meters.
Yeah, and
that's what you're going to do, 26.4.
I'm going to do 26.5 because I think I'm going to probably... And then I'll just maintain that pace. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment at the beginning because I have to run and then walk for a minute. So I'll have to figure out what the impact...
You should practice that this week. No? You trust yourself?
I trust myself.
Or you'll just do the math.
No, I'll just check my watch and like...
No, but do you know what pace your run is?
Yeah.
You know what pace you could walk
I'm gonna start at 9:55.
Yeah.
The running.
Yeah.
And then see how that turns up, because the walking can be like, it can be from like 15 to 18-minute mile, depending on...
If we're in Utah and we're trying to power through.
So I'm assuming it's like 16-minute miles, and I'll just kind of adjust as I go.
Maybe a tad slower, I think. Probably 17.
Yeah.
Your group will be people who will potentially want to walk slower than we walked in Utah, right?
Yeah, but I feel like when you're kind of in a marathon, we'll fill it out. I'm not too concerned. I think You'll
do the first couple.
I'll just adjust accordingly.
You'll see how fast people are walking, and then you'll just change.
And I think maybe I'm gonna like start off slightly slower than the pace, and then just
do a negative.
A little bit of a negative.
I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone running this race this weekend. Manitoba Marathon, fantastic race. We love being part of this every year. It's crazy how much it's grown. It's a beautiful race where I did my first marathon, my second marathon, that's it, I think, my first two, and then a bunch since then. Everyone who's running, so excited. Everyone who we're running with, so excited. I like Phil and Grant and Marty and George and Sonia today we saw, and just...
We should organize a breakfast or something.
We are. After. Run with Rob before we're doing.
Oh, before?
On the Saturday, we're going to do a 20-minute run, and then we'll go for breakfast at Sand River Cafe next week.
Okay.
Early, though, 8 a.m.
I have a 4-hour bike ride that day, so we'll see.
Quick 4-hour bike ride, then quick 4.5-hour marathon the next day?
Yeah,
you're getting a lot of hours in. Anyways, we're doing that, and we're going to talk about race strategy at the breakfast. So that's next week for Run Club. Great time I had at the Run for Your Buns. Thank you to Carolyn Fisher, who put that together with the Big Sky. That was fun. We did that on Saturday. Me and the Run Club, we did that. That was awesome. We got a free cinnamon bun out of it.
Oh, man, that's great. Wouldn't mind a cinnamon bun right now.
No kidding. Charlie, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, do more miles, less pace. Just keep on going, and marathons are hard.
Let's go. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you in the next episode.